Like to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. I'll ask the clerk if anybody is participating electronically.
There's no one on right now.
Thank you. Next is the adoption of the agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. So moved by Councillor Gardner, seconded by Councillor Levite. Be it resolved that the meeting agenda dated Monday, June 9th, 2025 be adopted. Questions, comments? None, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Carried. Anybody have a conflict of interest to declare? None? No presentations and delegations. Next is the adoption of the minutes. As circulated, everybody had a chance to look at them.
Yeah.
Any questions? None? Mover and a seconder? Seconder?
Thank you.
Okay, moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Levite. Be it resolved that council adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of May 26, 2025, and special meeting of June 2nd, 2025. Questions, comments? None? All in favor? Carried. We have notice of motions, 2 motions to put through. Everybody had a chance to look at them, so I need a mover and a seconder. So moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Be it resolved that refreshment vehicles regulated under bylaw 09-14 be permitted to locate at Explorers Point July 25 to 27, 2025 during Voyageur Days Festival as requested by staff. Refreshment vehicle operators will be responsible for the following. 1. Obtain all approvals before operating from the North Bay and District Health Unit, Fire Department, and Building Department under Sections 6 and 7 of Bylaw 09-14. 2. Notify the Bylaw Department with all approvals no later than July 24, 2025 prior to installation at Explorers Point. And 3, be responsible to ensure that the immediate area is cleaned at all times. Questions, comments? Councillor Gardner?
I didn't actually look at the bylaw to see, but if I remember correctly, the bylaw prevents from Main Street as well. Do we have anything planned for Main Street that we should include in the motion? I just seem to recall that Main Street wasn't a part of it, but I've known in the past we've had like on Water Street on Bangs
And
in
then
those locations. I wasn't sure if those fall under this or not.
So on Main Street, you just have to be 200 feet away from another food vendor, restaurant, anything like that, which the community is.
Okay.
So there is nothing to ask for Main Street.
That's the same for last year, Councillor.
Any other questions? I would like to reread the motion to accommodate Councillor Mick here. He's here to vote on. So the motion was moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Gardner. Be it resolved that refreshment vehicles regulated under bylaw 09-14 be permitted to locate at Explorers Point July 25 to 27, 2025 during Voyageur Days Festival as requested by staff. Refreshment vehicles operators will be responsible for the following. 1. Obtain all approvals before operating from the North Bay and District Health Unit, Fire Department, and Building Department under Sections 6 and 7 of Bylaw 09-14. 2. Notify the bylaw department with all approvals no later than July 24, 2025, at 5 P.M. prior to installation at Explorers Point. And 3, be responsible to ensure that the immediate area is cleaned at all times. So questions, comments? We had one. Good to go, can call for a vote, all in favor? Carried. And then need a mover and a seconder to change the start time of our next meeting.
Morning.
So I have a motion moved by Councillor Levesque, seconded by Councillor Mick. Be it resolved that council change the start time for the committee of the whole meeting on Monday, June 16, 2025 to 5 P.M. for the presentation of the 2024 financial statements from the municipal auditors. Questions, comments? None, all in favor? Carried. Correspondence. Eight point one, various municipalities concerning the strong mayor powers. Any comments, questions? None. 8.2, we have AMO, province introduces Bill 30. Any comments or questions there? None. 8.3, the District of Parry Sound Municipal Association, supporting municipal ethics through access and education. Questions, comments? None. That is it for correspondence. Standing committee recommendation reports or motions, there are none. And we have one information report. It's a physician recruitment update, report number 25-32R, and it was prepared by myself. Just the background, again, I indicate who's on the committee. So every town that participates in the funding of physician recruitment gets a seat. And the rest of the committee consists of staff at the Mattawa Hospital. So the return to service agreements, the last update, we had three agreements with upcoming physicians. First one, Dr. Taylor Wilkins, originally, she was scheduled to start in July or August 2025, but has postponed that date to January 2026 for personal reasons to take some locum positions to gain more experience. She is within her agreement rights, and she has expressed interest in doing some of those locum hours at our facility. Dr. Deji Hull is scheduled for July 2026. He's really excited about joining the group and hopes to bring his wife into his practice. His contract specifies a 2-month timeline. And finally, Dr. Adam Ritchie is scheduled for July 2027. Locum coverage, the smaller hospitals often provide incentives to attract locums. It's a healthy business, I guess, and they're in high demand. Incentives were necessary during the Christmas holiday to cover shifts when another physician had to drop their scheduled shifts. And Dr. William has been really helpful in assisting with locum coverage. We had another locum who recently found a hospital closer to his home, and he had to give up several shifts. We had to cover just under 20 shifts. The Emergency Department Locum Program, EDLP, has been helpful in covering the shifts to date. Physician transitions and feedback, the staff is working closely with the locum physicians to determine what improvements can be made in-house during transition. And they will explore what the new physicians would like to see in their role. An Ontario Health Association and Vic Fidelli meeting. The association was refraining from engaging with hospital during the election campaigns. And that is why at that point we hadn't heard from their representative, which has to give her regrets for the meeting. Our MPP for Nipissing has scheduled a meeting in the community. And this will be an opportunity to discuss the community's limited resources. Physician staffing goals. Given our reliance on locums, we need more than 3 physicians to meet staffing needs. The current physicians recommend 8 physicians to replace the 4 previous ones. However, the CEO suggested we aim for 6, with a potential new recruit in 2028. Nurse practitioner considerations, and this was asked at the table. Could the nurse practitioner alleviate the workload? If funding if funding allows, sorry, a nurse practitioner could be a good support, but this is dependent on provincial government support. Under the current legislation, an MP would be a good support, but would not eliminate the need to have physicians in the emergency department. So you still need doctors even if you have nurse practitioners. Health home model, the CEO expressed interest in starting a pilot for a health home model, subject on sufficient funding, again, as it aligns with our vision for healthcare. And the financial implication, well, we had agreed to a 5-year term of $13,769.54 per year, which will end in January of 2028. And the CFO provided an overview of the budget planning from 22 to 28. If you're interested in seeing those are just looking into the future. I can make them available to you. What I did include to this was up to date on year end, which was March 31st. Budget comparison report covered a fiscal year that ended December 31st, 24. Sorry, we are currently under budget.
Perfect.
Position 4 position remains to be filled, so that'll hurt the budget or eat it up. On the expense side, we are under budget, mainly due to lower costs for advertising and fairs. We only went to 1 fair in Sudbury this year. And overall, we're on target for this fiscal year also. Questions? Regarding.
So I'm just looking at the recruitment fund and what every municipality contributes to it, and the Mattawa Hospital contributes $12,000, Mattawa being the biggest contributor. Makes sense for the biggest population. One that kind of surprised me is that one of our neighbors pays $2,011 per year, has a population of approximately 180, and then we have another neighbor that pays $2,500 a year, and they have a population of approximately triple that. So just kind of curious how they come up with the numbers that all of everybody pays. Is it based on constituents? Is it based on what they were willing to pay and they were just kind of willing to take anything? Or because it looks like it hasn't changed since 2017.
That's right, and actually, if you look at 20, 21, 22, 23, they had stopped contributing also.
Not that neighbor, a different one. $2,500.
You're looking at Bonfield at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So Matawan pays $2,011 and they have approximately 180 people.
It's on weighted assessment.
Okay,
So
So it's not like-
Calvin has natural gas pipeline going through their township,
Yes.
so that brings up their assessment.
But should that not increase what they should pay? Because with the gas line going through, do they not have a higher income from that?
I just thought it odd to be $2,500 even when Mattawan pays 2,011 for a third of the people.
Okay, and weighted assessment against Key Hill.
Hmm.
Dam,
Oh, okay,
so. The way that these assessments were all made up was when the Mattawa Bonfield Economic Development Corp existed. And these are the numbers that they had come up with to give you the exact science on it, but I will inquire and I can bring back some information at a further meeting if that helps.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Good reporting. These guys are working very hard.
The staff there, yeah, they're no different than what we are, you know, the limited budget and they're trying to make ends meet and they need our help, but anyways, we've already scheduled another meeting, so I'll come up with more updates.
I just want to commend you for an awesome job with your committee, because we now got 3 possible recruits that's coming, and maybe a 4th one a little further down the road, so the possibility for Mattawa to have some type of minimum efficient of doctors to be in the community is great.
Just to rephrase what you said, it's not possible, 3 are for sure.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and the other one we're hoping to announce it. When it happens.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so you'll move it?
Not sure.
So moved by Councillor Gardner, seconded by Councillor Levite. Be it resolved that Council of the Town of Mattawa receives report number 25-32R titled Physician Recruitment Committee Report. Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. And we have one bylaw to pass this evening. So this is a bylaw to appoint members on the John Dixon Public Library Board. Okay, everyone had a chance to see the motion. I need a mover and a seconder.
Those are the same ones that was mentioned at the previous meeting.
Just give me a second here. So to be council tonight will hereby appoint Tracy Ellis, Brian David Williams, and Molly McNamara as members of the John Dixon Public Library Board for a term concurrent with the council of the town of Mattawa. Okay, I'm gonna ask for a recorded vote. And before the recorded vote, it's not that I'm against this, I just want to make sure that I will read it first. Moved by Councillor Mick, second by Councillor Ross. Be resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Town of Mattawa adopt bylaw 25-11 being a bylaw to appoint John Dixon Library Board members for the remainder of the 23-26 term. And the reason I called for a recorded vote, want people to understand why I'm gonna vote it myself. I want to vote against it. I think we're putting the cart ahead of the horse here. We don't even have our location set up. We don't know what type of library we're gonna have, so I hate to bring 3 people in and then things change and we ask them to leave immediately. I don't think that's good practice, but that's my reasoning behind it. Any other comments or Councillor Levesque?
So they don't have a foundation right now or a place to have your meetings. So what is the consensus then for having 3 people to add on if they're, and are they getting numerations to sit on there?
I think You want to answer that, Councillor Mick?
Or, yeah, there's no remunerations and we're
Oh.
meeting virtually at the moment.
Virtually? Okay. So is there a possibility there'd be reports coming to council forthcoming to see where your progress are, what your meetings are all about and what your plans?
Hopefully, yeah, that's the plan. I'd love to get everyone together, the new folks, and then we'll come and do a little presentation of what we kind of want to do as a group, yeah.
Okay, would you be willing to have a temporary situation here instead of having a full term because we haven't got a.
Okay, let's keep it, we're appointing people to a board when you're going somewhere else then.
Right, I just wanted to find
Yeah.
out.
So any other questions, Councillor Gardner?
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that, my feelings of this originally were that, I wanted these spots to go to people, from the municipalities that contribute to the library, which they don't all currently right now. But that being said, if we do transition to a model that involves their neighbors and everybody contributing, then it would be a different type of library, which would require the dismantling of this one and then a new board being put in place to the new one. So that would change the makeup of it at that time anyway. So I'm okay with it for now, the way that it is, and we'll kind of revisit it when and if that time comes.
Comments? Councillor Ross?
No, I'm fine.
Mayor Malonche,
No?
Councillor Ross,
Yep.
Councillor Mick,
Yes.
Councillor Webb,
Yes,
Councillor Gardner.
Yes.
Hopefully carried with a recorded vote, 4 yeas and 1 nay.
Okay, old business. We're down to one, beautification committee terms and reference, I guess,
Yeah, regrettably, our director is not here this evening, so our commitment is to the next regular meeting, we'll put this one to bed.
Thank you. Anybody else have questions on it or no? Well, there are no new business, no questions from the public. No in camera. And, I guess we're adjourning.
a move to adjourn.
And who's gonna second the motion? Ross? Or anyway,
Late.
I saw your hand there going. So moved by Councillor Levite, seconded by Councillor Mick, be it resolved that the June 9th, 2025 meeting adjourned at 6:25 PM. Questions, comments? All in favor? Carried.
We are done.